Next, we move on to the Minnesota Vikings with one of the most influential quarterbacks in Kirk Cousins. I'll give you a Kirk Cousins stat in a bit. But first, I'll let Brad take it away. Russell Wilson has never lost against Minnesota. He was 7-0, including playoffs against Minnesota.
Until now. I mean, the Vikings were looking obviously for their first win of the season. I said last week that the Vikings have been the entertainment package of the NFL this season. If you're a neutral, absolute entertainment galore. This was a key matchup in terms of NFL fantasy as well. Secured the dub over Jamie. I think with 3 players in this game that are on my team. And also, obviously, it was their first home game back for Minnesota, and they were without star running back Dalvin Cook as well. So it shows you how good a performance it was from the Vikings, winning 30-17. Seahawks did open the scoring when Russell Wilson found the better wide receiver for fantasy in Seattle, DK Metcalf, and that piled on some misery for Jamie.
Did you not try and replace him? I just thought, did you not try and replace DK Metcalf with Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, I'm so glad you rejected that trade. That's a big brave play from you, Jamie. And then Vikings responded, as Jamie said, with one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL when Cousins found Tyler Conklin. Seattle then kicked a field goal, and then Chris Carson rushed in for a 30-yard touchdown. And Seattle were 10 points up at this point, and you think, with Seattle's defense, they've got a reputation, obviously, for being very solid. Turns out not to be the case anymore, because Cousins then found fantasy beast Adam Thielen, piled more misery onto Jamie, and I think he cried at this point. Reduced the lead to 17-14, and then another fantasy beast of mine, Jefferson, a nice little Cousins 3-yard touchdown, and then three Vikings field goals secured the victory. And I think the Vikings, obviously being so close the 2 previous weeks, they've lost by a narrow margin. And yeah, they put on a show even without Dalvin Cook. So I think it's a really important win for the Vikings, and I think it will kickstart their season now, because they have been entertaining this season. They've been fun to watch, and I hope they carry it on with future weeks.
Yeah, I think they will. Kirk Cousins, what can I say? I've been banging on about him, saying that they don't need Dalvin Cook. Kirk Cousins is the man. You give him time in the pocket, he's going to be great. I shared this stat before the show, but I'll do it again. Most games over the last 6 seasons with 300-plus passing yards, 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, Kirk Cousins is number 1 with 12 such games. Mahomes 11, Brady 11, Breeze 11, Rodgers 10, Kirk Cousins number 1. He's also the Vikings' best ever quarterback in stats as well. But yeah, stats don't win prizes. But if the Vikings keep playing like that and they give Kirk Cousins time in the pocket, anything is possible for Minnesota's Vikings this season.
I guess one thing to add really is that it was nice. It was nice to see for a change that the Minnesota defense actually showed up. I thought that after their shaky start, they played well. They sussed out what Russell Wilson was trying to do, which I think is pretty obvious, that he's always going to try and find DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. But it's just about executing the plays, whether it's with the pass rush or the cornerbacks. And Minnesota, week in, week out, have been letting their talented offense down and on special teams. But this week, they delivered on all sides of the ball. That's what you've got to do to win matches. I think that would be frustrating for Minnesota. So they played well enough to go 3-0. So it's a good win against Seattle, because you never know what Seattle's going to turn up. But even without Dalvin Cook, they've got, up there in terms of consistency, probably in form, the best receiving duo in the NFL. So if Kirk Cousins gets time in the pocket, and as long as it's still daylight and it's not in prime time, it'll find them comfortably. So he did have a very good game, and he surprisingly outperformed Russell Wilson. A very good win for Minnesota, and they've got to build on that now, because they should be threatening Green Bay every season in the NFC North, but they just are not consistent enough. Maybe this is the time to kick on and get that consistency.
Yeah, they really need to. Russell Wilson, he's got the highest quarterback rating, 133.6, first in the NFL. Seattle defense have allowed 440.3 yards per game, which is last in the NFL. which has been it's been the story since they decided to try and pass it on the goal line rather than punch it in with Marshawn Lynch about 8 years ago. So live and learn for the Seattle Seahawks, but they're 1-2, and I am loving every second of their misery so far this season.